Well, it was time for the interview. It was in the high school building. Of course, I made it a point to be there a little early. Once we were in the interview situation, I was pleased it wasn't in some cramped little office. It was set up in, I believe, one of the classrooms. But it was a comfortable setting. And they introduced themselves. Bartley Bloodhart, board chairman, board members J.J. Hosky, and Leonard Ryman. Nice, mature men. Not a big age range. Had the feeling that maybe all of them had children in school. I think it turned out that 2 of the 3 did, and the third one's wife was a teacher. So, introductions out of the way, they got right down to it. Didn't chit-chat around a whole lot. They got right to the point and said, you know, we've had some real discipline problems in our high school. In fact, it got bad enough that this current school year, apparently a student had the superintendent on the floor and knocking his head on the floor under a water fountain. Don't know what it was all about, but it's bad kind of deal. And then it wasn't pointed, but the inference was, does that alarm you? Do you think you can deal with that situation? And, you know, I made it pretty clear that, you know, I wouldn't tolerate that kind of situation. I didn't think that we'd have a whole lot of trouble in that area, that I would deal with it. Well, they probably had their own doubts about whether that was going to be that simple, and I certainly should have had a little more doubt than I did about it being simple. And moved on, and they said we had a fatality last year at noon hour, kids out driving, and we think we need to close the campus at noon. Do you think you could deal with the pressure of that? Well, yeah, but, you know, for me to do it, you need to make an official board policy that you're closing the campus. And yeah, I can take the heat, but you may get some too. It may come back to a protest at a board meeting because the kids are going to really resent losing that freedom. But if you do your part, I'll certainly do my part, and we'll close the campus. Well, that seemed to be a satisfactory answer. So then they said, well, we have another totally different kind of problem, but it's caused a lot of hard feelings in the school district. Parents have complained that some teachers exercise the right to choose which students will be in their classroom. Like if you had a couple of second grades, one second grade teacher, third grade, fourth, fifth, sixth, one up the line, first, two, I suppose, the veteran teacher or the power rank teacher or whatever would decide who she's going to teach or he's going to teach. We don't think that's right, and we'd like to have you, if you're going to be our superintendent, put the names of the kids on a card, shuffle those cards, deal them out, and that's who's in the classes, no exceptions. Would you be willing to do that? Well, yeah, sure. Again, you need to establish it as policy so that, you know, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I can take the heat of that, no problem at all. Well, the only other thing they really commented on was some concern about cleanliness in the buildings. And I said, hey, I know a little bit about being a custodian. I was a custodian in a hospital for a while as a part-time job while I was going to college. And the thing I learned was that you have to have a time schedule so that you hit everything that needs to be hit at the times that it's agreed you're going to hit them and give it a good shot. And if you do that, you can pretty well keep a building decently clean. The rest of the time we chit-chat a little bit. They asked some more questions about my family and so on. I'm sure I had some questions, don't remember what they were, but the interview was very pleasant, and I left feeling like, hey, you've got a real shot. You may get called to be superintendent of schools. So I went home pretty excited.